Oh, that's bright. Okay, so I'm doing this live because I just don't have the time of day at the moment to edit any videos, and a few people have just requested that I show them how to do my full glam makeup. So I've been doing a few photo shoots recently for Pageantland, and I've sort of got my makeup really down to how it is exactly that I'd like to do it. And so I thought, yes, sure, I will show you guys how I do this makeup because it's really easy. It doesn't use loads of product or loads of brushes. In fact, especially for the eyeshadow, I literally just use one blending brush and one sort of eyeshadow applicator brush for the light color. So without further ado, I did put out a little note about this stream to say that already have your skincare done, because, you know, some people like to have it done and sit on their face for like half an hour before they put their makeup on, let it sink into the skin and really moisturize it. As you get older, that's a really good tip to apply your skincare in advance of doing your makeup. I do before doing this stream. I've had some retinol patches under my eyes as well, because as I'm getting older, I'm 40 this year. I'm getting some really fine lines under my eyes. In fact, I don't know if you can tell, but I have had some Plexa treatment on my forehead. There you go, you can see that one. I've had this one, and I had my eyes done as well. So there's a bit of flaky skin still on my face because I only had it done a week ago today. So I'm just going to give everyone like a couple of minutes to get on. We've only got like 2 people in at the moment, and I know a lot of people have just said they're busy and they'll just catch it later, so that's fine. I've got a little loop, take that. So I'm just going to wait like sort of a couple of minutes, let everyone get on. If you can, I don't even know if I can see the comments. Can I see the comments? Yeah, I can see the comments. So let me know if you've got your products with you that I said to bring. So you just need your skincare done, obviously. So primer. I always start with primer because the makeup then doesn't sit in your pores. And then you've got, so I can do the eyes first or foundation first. I think I'll do the eyes first because I'm doing this in my office with my webcam, because I'm just so out of, I don't know, practice of setting things up. So I thought I'll do it in the office where I know I've got internet, or I've got good enough internet to pull this live off, because the rest of the house is diabolical for internet. So I'll do the eyes first because I don't have access to a sink where I can clean up any overspill. So primer, eyes, face, and I do my brows last. So that's just how I do it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. We've got 4 people in here now. So I'm going to crack on with my primer, and I use the Fenty primer and the foundation. It's really good, especially for something where you need the makeup to stay, like long wear. I've got really oily skin, like super, super oily skin. And this is basically my holy grail. So primer first, and I use sort of like 2 pumps generally for the primer situation. Smush it on my fingers and then just pat it over my face. And this is a follow along, so if you want to follow along, I'm not going to like rush through. I'm literally going to do this at leisure. However long this takes me to do, that's how long this video is going to be. So push that all into your skin, into your pores. I'm really warm. My heating is on. I might have to take this jumper off. I'm like sweating. And my face goes bright red as soon as I touch it, if you can tell, like bright red. So my makeup, my foundation is going to look kind of funky when I put it on later, but I promise you it is my shade. I'm going to take this jumper off because I'm so warm. Just get. I am dressed underneath there. It's fine. Oh, all right. Here we go. Good. Right. Should have put my hair up. Anyway, right. Primer's done. Now I'm going to move on to eyes. And basically, I don't use eye primer. I just use concealer on my eyelids. So a bit of concealer here and concealer here. And you can use your fingers or you can use concealer brush. I use a concealer brush because I try not to use my fingers as much as possible, unless I'm doing like that Meredith Duxbury foundation look, which does work. It really does work. I do that if I'm going to need my makeup to last all day long. I'll use that much foundation for reals. But yeah, just sort of blend this across your eyelids. Turn that around. I can see a bit better what I'm doing. There we go. So you just make sure you sort of cover all of your mobile lid and your brow bone. up to your eyebrows. You can see like all the like crispy bits there from the plexus. It's a little bit tender still, but it works. Like in 4 weeks' time, hopefully I won't have any wrinkles. So we're just blending, making sure that's all over the lid. Ignore my lumpy bits because this is the dry skin. Let that sit for a little while. I'm just going to move the things that I've used out of the way. And then I'm going to use, I bought this the other day, the 350 Supernatural Glow from Morphe, because this is a cheap palette. It's cheap enough that probably everyone can buy it, and it really does have every sort of shade that you would need to pull off a full glam look in it. Like, it doesn't have any of the purples, the blues, and the greens that we just don't wear on a day-to-day basis. So as a day-to-day eyeshadow palette, this is great. So it's got the really nice couple of really pale shades, and then it's got a really good range all the way through, like the golds, the pinks, the shimmers, the oranges, the corals. It's really good. So I'll be using this today. And the first shade I'm going to go for is a medium shade. So I'm going to have a quick look. So basically on the little blurb that I wrote for this video, for this stream, I said to get your darkest brown shade. That's going to be for your eyeliner. Then a deep brown, and then a medium brown, and then a pale shade. So you've got 3 shades literally on your lid, and it's so simple to do. So I feel like that's my deepest, like my darkest shade is there. It's like almost like a charcoal brown. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can. Charcoal brown. And then I'm looking at sort of maybe this for a transition shade. So I always go for like a sort of a sand shade that goes all over the lid, and that's my lightest brown shade. Is a transition. So it could be this one or this one. It depends on really how it's looking. Or this. It depends on what skin tone you are. So this would be good for an olive skin tone. This would be good for a peach tone or a pinky tone. So your undertones, yeah, they sort of matter when you're picking. Again, this one would be good for someone with like really fair skin as a transition shade. So I think I'm quite olive, but at the moment I'm quite pink because I don't have a tan. So I'm probably actually going to go for this as my transition. So this will be my lightest brown shade. This is going to be my darkest. I'm going to think of something that's in the middle of these two, and it's probably something like this, to be honest with you, as the medium shade. So that one, and then we go to there. So that's what I'll do, and then this will be my eyeliner. So when I'm doing like pageant makeup or like a full glam makeup, I used to always use liquid eyeliner, but as I'm getting older and I'm getting like hooded eyelids and things like that, it's actually difficult to get that looking good because I'm just starting to get the hooded eyes and like the sagging lids and things like that. So just doing a flick or a somewhat of a flick with eyeshadow is a lot easier, and it's softer as well. It's not so harsh and overdone looking. So that's sat nicely on my lids for a little while now. I'm just going to give it a little blend because it's probably started to crease. Yeah, it has in my little creases. So just rub that back out a bit. It's not terrible. But then I'm going to take my little fluffy brush, and this is my MAC. I don't know what the number is because it's rubbed off, but I feel like it's 217. It's like really old school. And I'm going to take it in the lightest brown shade that I said I was going to use, which is this one here, on sort of the side of my brush. And this is going to go all over my lid, all over my lid. So I just pat it on all across the lid. And then we blend it out upwards towards the eyebrow. You don't have to get it right in the middle because we are actually going to go over that later with concealer and then a white shadow, like a lighter shadow. Not necessarily white. Usually like a cream I like to use, like an off-white, not just a brilliant white. See, I'm going with this quite up towards my brow. You just want to smoke it right out. As I'm doing this as a follow along, I hope I'm giving everyone like enough time to actually grab their makeup to follow along. If not, let me know in the comments if it's like too fast. Could do with a bit more of that, to be honest with you. So in the middle area, just going to put a bit more on. So when you're doing makeup for photography or stage or a night out where you know you're going to be having selfies, add more makeup because the lights, the camera, it all takes it away from the boldness. I wouldn't wear this makeup out during the day where I'm literally not going to be having my photo taken because it's just too much. But for a night out, like glam night out, having photos done on stage, just notice I've got like eye bogey. We'll get rid of that. Anything that's, you know, full glam, this is for that. So you really want it to be highly pigmented. You really want the colors to have like a punch, essentially. You want it to look strong and bold, like full glam. So other eye now. You really need to get my eyebrows done. My face looks so red. I'm so warm. It's like, oh, should have left the door open. A bit more. You really want it to be like opaque, the color. You don't want any like translucency on your lids or anything like that. Okay, so that's my transition shade done. It looks kind of crazy, but we will get there. It's fine. Then we're going to take the same brush because you don't need 10,000 brushes to do your makeup, I promise. So I'm going to take this brush again into the darker shades. I'm just going to use the other side. We go like this. I'm just going to use this side of the brush in the dark brown shade, not the deepest or the darkest, but in the third brown shade, or the middle. Would it be the middle? Yeah, it'd be the middle, wouldn't it? But yeah, so this is going to go in the outer V. So all the way down to your lash line, into your V and across a bit. And it's really these shades why we do our foundation last, because as you can see, there's lots of fallout. I could have tapped it, but I'm in my office and I don't really want to put makeup all over my floor. So I'll just wipe that up later. So just pat it on so that you get a nice amount in the outer corner. And then we start blending it across. There was probably a bit too much on there. Blow it away. So, and then we're just going to blend that up to the corner and down to the lash line. And then sort of bring it across in the gap, like in your crease. So like raise your eyebrows as high as you can get them to go, so it pulls that crease out, so you can really get it in. And then that gives you that lovely blended look. So like the windscreen wiper motion. Now, if you can't do this sort of makeup without getting it all over your face and that annoys you, so it sort of does me a bit, you can just sort of take that away. But you can use primer to remove that. Basically, you can use a piece of toilet roll. Bit of toilet roll, put it there so it like doesn't drop all over your face, or a bit of tissue. And that can give you a really nice like sharp line. And also another trick is to take the brush with hardly anything on it now, and you just sort of flick it upwards so it touches your skin there, but then when it hits your sort of your brow bone, flick it, and then where it settles in sort of like a little point, and that's how you get a nice end instead of any like harsh lines at the end. I'm getting old, so I'm just getting creases there when I do that. Oh well, no one stays young forever. Okay, I'll do this side now so you can see what I'm doing, because I realise this is a bit of a shadow, this side. So I'll tap it in the tray. Okay, that's a bit better. Not so harsh. See, if you tap it off and give it a little blow first, because that was actually really pigmented, that shade, because I've not used these before. So. Give it a good blend. See what happens when you get old. You get these like creases when you get old. As you get older, and your skin elasticity leaves your skin essentially. Elastin. You get these weird creases, and they're the bane of my life. For doing makeup, anyways. But don't worry, because we'll be cleaning all of this up later. So those are the two brown shades. I look like a weirdo, but it's fine. We'll move on. We're going to take some concealer, and this is where we start to get tidy. Actually, first I will just do a little bit of the primer on my cheeks, because you can remove the makeup fallout. A little bit of primer. Just sort of drag it across your face, because then you're taking the makeup off, but then you're also leaving the primer back on your skin that was there previously. I need a little bit more. And then you're not sort of having to get your cotton wool out and clean your face up with makeup remover and things like that. So you really can. It's a little trick. Little cheat. Like so. And we leave the under eyes for after we've actually done the face. So we'll go back and do the eyes in a little while. So now it's time for concealer. So we're just going to do a little blob here on the inner eyes on both sides. And then you can bring it down and start to actually apply the concealer around your eyes, which is fine. And I'm going to use my concealer brush for this. You can use whatever you want. You can use your finger if you don't have long fingernails. You can use a beauty blender. But basically, we're just going to clean up this inner eye section for applying a pale shade. So I go up to my nose, like where my brow is. Let me move back a bit because that light's a bit shockingly bright there. Let me tone it down a little when I come closer. There we go, that's better. Yeah, so we're just this very inner corner, going over that eyeshadow. And then blending it across. And these brushes are really good. So it's got the angle, so you can really draw, like if you want to carve that out and make that sharp, like I'll show you. I will blend it later to make it more rounded, but you can use this little sharp line on the brush to carve that out and give that like a sharpness. If you like that sort of look, if you like a more intense vibe, you can by all means do that. You hear my foxes. Fox feeding time at 8. They're out there at the minute. So this makeup look takes about an hour when I'm not chatting. So if you need to do this sort of a look for anything in particular, give yourself a good hour to do your makeup. It was quite a bit there, so I've just blended it right down. So take it up to your brow, sort of onto the bridge of your nose. Not the bridge, what's that? The bit between your eyebrows. Is it like the glabella? Can't remember what it's called. It's a bit where you have Botox. Stop you frowning. I do anyway, that's why I have Botox. I have Botox there, and then sort of here and up on my forehead. And then you can still move your eyebrows. That's the trick for Botox. But I did read this thing that when you have Botox on your face, look at the way I look at the mirror, the toxins apparently can go into your brain and make you dumber. Kills your brain cells apparently. So we'll see. I do feel like as I'm getting older, my memory is useless. And like when I'm reading things, I'm not absorbing it. I don't know if that's Botox or if that's just because I'm getting old. We'll see. because I'm due for some soon. Should I carve that up? Is that about the same? We'll see. Let's have a look. I think it's like, that'll do. It's close enough. She says and does it a little bit more anyway. Okay. Now, depending on how much you like this contrast of between your eyeshadow and your inner eye, you can literally use just setting powder to set the concealer and have like the palest skin tone shade there, or you can use a pale like cream eyeshadow. I'm going to do it with the eyeshadow just because I like doing it that way. That's just what I tend to do. Here's my eyeshadow brush. This is my eyeshadow like an applicator brush, so I literally just use an applicator eyeshadow brush and the blending brush. I generally just, that's what I reach for all the time. I've got so many brushes, it's unreal, but really you don't need them. You can use shimmer for this, or you can use matte. It's really up to you. If you've got a lot of crepiness on your eyes, most people like to use matte, but really, does it matter? Why does it matter if we show off our crinkles or not? Like, if you like shimmer, use it. So I'm going to go in with the matte shade, and I might just cover up some shimmer later because I like shimmer. But I'm going to go in and just sort of set this with this matte shade. And yes, I did clean my brushes, especially for this little thing, and I haven't cleaned them in ages. So don't feel like you have to have super duper clean brushes, because you really don't need them. So yeah, just blend that in. And then take that same colour right up across your brow to set the concealer that we put on earlier in the same shade. So then it's all cohesively blended. And I do have brow tattoo scar. That's what that is. That is a brow tattoo scar. I had my brows tattooed a long time ago, and look where she did my eyebrows. Ruined my face. I was like, what the hell? And it's just been like it ever since, and I just don't even bother with it anymore. I don't even bother trying to cover it up. Can't be bothered. She wrecked it. I'm going to go in with the shimmer just because I like shimmer. So there is this lovely little sort of, I'd say it's like an oyster gold. Never used it before, so we'll see how good this is. It's got a little bit of fallout. Where I've got the plexer dots, you can really see them. They're like, the eyeshadow is sitting in these dots, the little like burn marks. Oh yeah, don't go right up with the shimmer. Literally just that on. Just put the shimmer on the lid if you're going to wear the shimmer. Not right up onto the brow bone. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have done the shimmer with the way my eyes are at the moment, because it's not looking great. But it's fine. It's fine. We don't mind. Okay, and then go down onto your lower lash line. Just for that bit, because that's nice. And where it's like damp and tacky, it will really cling to the pigment. Okie dokie. Right. Now I'm going to move on to the eyeliner with this brush. So this is a personal preference. You can use liquid eyeliner at this point if that's your personal preference, but I will show you what I do with my eyeshadow. So I'm going to go into like the deepest, darkest, deepest brown shade and just give it a little wiggle on one side. I will give it a tap off because I really don't want it to drop now. And we're going to basically dab it across our lash line, and then where this line is, up into it ever so slightly. You're not going to go all the way up to where this line is exactly. You're just going to go a little bit on there, because a lot of this makeup is going to be covered by your lashes anyway. And the lashes really do make a difference as to how glam or not how glam, like full glam or just glam or soft glam, your makeup looks. It really is like the lashes make such a difference to it. So we're just going to, are they looking kind of even? I might give them a little bit more of a blend actually, because you can't really blend once you've done this. So that was a little bit funky with that shimmer there. So just give that a little bit more of a blend. Right. Make sure I've got the right side. Here we go, right. Just drawing a little line. From about where the thickness of your lashes start is where I do it. It's like, it's probably, if I look dead straight, where my iris ends, like before it begins the sclera, the white part of your eye. So literally that's about where the thickness, the fullness of my lashes begin. So sort of there and go across. It's just like dabbing it and then just moving it into, in that same flicky thing that I said earlier, the same flicky sort of motion, up onto that. Sort of where the brow crease, is it the brow crease? Where the brow bone sort of meets the soft part is about where I do it too. And then I just ever so slightly blend that out, the teensy weensiest bit. So you can see that's quite neat. It looks nicely done, etc. And once again, do the same for the other eye. So again, where my pupil sort of goes to, right across to the outer corner, and then just slightly up to where the brow bone meets the soft part. And I've gone a little bit into my concealer there, so I'm going to tidy that up with the concealer brush. Cool. Right, now we're going to get rid of the redness that is my face. Is that the eyes mostly done? No, it's not actually. We need to do eyeliner. So, kohl pencil. I use this twisty uppy doodah. And I do the top tight line and then I blink. So that's how you get it, and it's like not too much on the lower lash line, like the waterline. So put your finger and lift your lid up. So then you can draw onto that part easily and go right into the corner. And then that looks like that. But then when you blink, it looks like that. So you get a nice bit of definition, nice little bit on that waterline, but it's not too much. It's not like overpowering and too dark. So same again on the other side. Right into the corner. And then blink hard. There you go. And that's how you do your eyeliner. Well, that's how I do my eyeliner anyways. Mascara. No, I'm not going to do mascara yet. I'll do mascara at the end, just before I do my fake lashes. So basically, I'll do that. Then I do my face. Then I do my eyebrows. And then I do lashes last. So moving on to face. Foundation. I do 3 pumps. I'm going to do one at a time because it runs down my face and it tickles my face and it drives me nuts. So one here, blend it in. One here, blend it in. Forehead, blend it in. I use a beauty blender. But you can use whatever you want to use for your face, whatever you like to use. See what I mean by this colour? It is my skin shade, I promise you it is. I'm just very red where I'm warm and just moving about lots, and it just makes my face go red when I touch it. But it's a nice shade. This is like my no tan shade. Yeah, you could use like your hands for this. You can use a foundation brush, a kabuki brush. I've used all sorts, but I feel like this is just what I like to use. It's nice, and it's easy to clean as well, because obviously foundation brushes just get thick with makeup. I'm just going to close this little box over here. Oh, I can't wear a mask for a few minutes. Wear a COVID mask for a few minutes. Oh, yeah, if you want to just go out and, whatever you're doing, cover up your face if you like. But no, I'm not a fan of COVID masks. So I always start with a damp beauty blender. So I wash it I give it a squeeze in like a towel or a kitchen paper towel sort of thing. And then that's good to go. You don't want it too wet because obviously it just dilutes your foundation, but you don't want it so dry either that it steals all your foundation. So you sort of want a little balance in the middle. Healthy balance. Okay. It'll be interesting to see how long this does take me with chatting along. I'll use a bit more. It feels like it's not quite enough there. Might take like an hour and a half, maybe, sort of the chat along. Just went onto my eyelid there. This is why I don't do my eyebrows first, because I just always go over them with foundation. But no, I'm not that neat. Right, that looks okay. Righty-ho. Right, I'm going to let that sit for a little while because this makeup, actually I'm going to do my neck, but this makeup really does do well if you just let it sit for a while. The Fenty Pro Filter foundation, I've just put way too much on there. I'm going to take a bit off. Have I got anything here I can do that with? I didn't bring any tissues down here with me for some reason. What can I use in here that I can wipe off later? I know. Boots bag. I just put 2 pumps on here for some stupid reason for just doing my neck, which obviously it doesn't need a lot. But for a full glam look, you do want your neck to be the same colour as your face. And mine's very red at the moment. So basically just doing this. I can't. My lamp is literally right in front of where the writing is when people write to me. Got a mask to wear, you would look hotter. Yeah, very funny. Lame. Whatever you say is not going to affect me. I'm sorry if you really had your heart set on that. It's not going to work. Okay, neck done. This is where the fun happens. So this is the part that I actually enjoy doing, which is like the contouring of my face. So I use these. These are really cool. I've got quite a different thing that I use for doing contour. So you can use the hourglass vanish sticks. But these little Maybelline erase ones are really good. They don't really go deep enough, I think, for darker complexions, but they're good enough for contour. So the dark, I think this is the very darkest one, which might be cocoa. There's 2 that are very similar. I can't read that for the life of me. But basically into your cheekbone from sort of the top of your ear down is like there. It's where I contour. There, around my forehead, under my jaw. Like that. And then you can do a little bit under your lip. Don't do loads, just do a little bit. Give you a shadow, obviously blend it in. And then you can do down your nose. I do actually have a nose contour little pen, which is a bit like a liquid eyeliner pencil, but it's like skinny and flat. But I don't want to like say to everybody, oh, buy all of these things to pull this look off. So I'm just going to do it with the very same thing that I'm using as my contour. Beauty blender again. I'm just going to use it on a little, like the back end, not the side of the foundation shade, because I will be maybe doing some more concealer once I blend this in, because sometimes it blends too much and you need to like reduce what you've done. But basically, really just work that on the underside of your cheekbone. If you don't have cheekbones like I do, create them. Keep that sharp line. like so. Make sure you don't miss any of these bits because you don't want to walk around with like a little blob under your lip, which I have done before. It's quite funny. And then you really want to blend that down into your neck. Just creates like a shadow line under your jaw, gives you more of a snatched jaw. You don't need loads. It's just a little bit of definition between your face and where your neck starts. And then do the forehead. The reason I like this, it doesn't sort of dry out really quick. It gives you time to play. And I sort of bring it down to my temple, but then I leave like a gap between the cheekbone, or the fake cheekbone, and the sort of forehead shade. What would you call that? Forehead contour? So if you've got a big contour, if you've got a big forehead, then you want to like contour this away. Obviously, shadows take away, lights bring forward, things like that. So you want to push your forehead back a bit, make it look smaller. Then you'll use more contour. But basically, I just like to do it because it adds a bit of like definition to your face, a bit of depth. You see what I mean about the foundation shade? It doesn't matter. Once you start doing all the contour, having like a shade that's too light for your face really doesn't matter because it can just end up being like your concealer shade, like your highlight shade anyway. And then the nose. So I'll look back because that's so bright when I get really close to the mirror. There we go, that's good. And then, so you can double up with this. You don't have to actually use all the liquids like I do. But this is like a full glam look. If you don't have the liquids, you can by all means just use the powders. This is really nice. It's not as pigmented as I'd like it to be. This is an Urban Decay liquid blush. And it comes in like a little squeezy tube. And you'd think that might be quite a lot, but I don't feel like it is. So I just get that on the, do you see what I mean? That just like disappeared almost straight away. There's not a lot there. But the reason I do sort of layering on liquids and powders is because I'm so oily. I feel like if I've got the powders on and then they melt off and the powders, I don't know how to explain it, but congeal with what's underneath. I want what's underneath not just to be white because then you'll lose the pigment, you'll lose the colour. Or I will anyway. So I feel like as long as what's underneath the powder, once it melts away, is the same sort of shade, then I feel like I've got a bit of backup there for my oily skin. So I use that twice generally, just to add a little bit of colour. And as I get older, I bring the blush up here to give a lifted effect rather than putting it on the apples of my cheeks. Ooh, what's that? There's a bit of leather off the table. Right. So you can sort of see it. Yeah, that's getting better. Right. Looking rather mental, but it's fine. So that's the face mostly done. I'm going to do a little bit more of concealer just because I feel like I need it down the bridge of my nose and between my forehead, between my eyebrows onto my forehead a little bit. So down there like that. Depending on how your face is, like if you want to create cheekbones, after you've done this sort of the contouring, you can add concealer here. I'll just do it. So you can add concealer on your jawbone and then take your beauty blender on the bit that wasn't like contour and just create, like take some from there and then do that and create a sharp line, not like a crazy sharp line because you need to be able to blend it, but create a line. And that will give you like an effect that there's like a, you know, the light to the dark. So it looks like there is, in fact, a cheekbone. Got hair caught in it. Like that. Righto, so that's all the liquids done. Oh no, it's not. What am I talking about? Look. I should hate that's a great look. So just blend that in a little bit. Just give a little bit of highlight on the forehead, which always looks nice in photos. I don't know if you guys use like Face App and things like that, but I always notice if I use it on the filters, they make my face look brighter. I'm like, why does my makeup never actually just look like that in the first place? And it's because in real life, I think to get that lighter face, your concealer needs to be so light on your face. It's just not your natural skin tone whatsoever. So it just, I don't know. I've never been able to pull it off, but on Face App, it does it for me. So that's great. Oh, I went onto my nose contour there a little bit. Just check it over. Make sure it's all sort of blended in okay. I feel like this side's a bit pinker. Bit more blush than the other, so just try and tone that down a little with what was just like the concealer left over. Now we're going to set our face. So in here I have some leftover powder. I brought down the cheap one, so this is really good. This is Revolution Lace baking powder. I think it was like £5. It's really good, and it's a really nice translucent, like a pinky tone. I want to say, not exactly sure what we'd call it. It's slightly pink. It's slightly pink, I would say. But it's also got like a yellow tone to it as well. It's like a yellow pink tone. So it's really good for Caucasian complexions. So I just take that and I put in my little pot. So this is my old MAC Prep and Prime powder. And then I take a really big fluffy brush, dust my whole face, and then I bake for the under eye eyeshadow that we're going to do after this is all done. So take some of the powder, tap it off. You don't want to like have way too much on your brush essentially, and then I literally just go to town, setting it all over my face like a light dusting. Ooh. So just go all over your skin. If you want to, this could be the point where you add lip balm. I've actually already got some on, but after you've done all your liquids and you're getting really close to your lips and things with the liquids, put some lip balm on because that helps later when we do our lip liner, and then you don't have like crusty lips, which is not a good look. It's not the look we're going for. So yeah, dust that all over your face just to set all the powder on your face. And then I take one of these little doodahs to bake under my eye, my jaw, my T-zone, everywhere that's going to be like extra oily or needs coverage. So if you're like me and you've got like crepiness around your eyes, don't go right up into these lines because you really don't need to. The less makeup you actually have under your eyes, as long as you've got like a nice amount of coverage, that's all you need. You don't need to pack it in on there because obviously it just starts to cake up. And then when you're doing your under eye makeup, if you leave quite a bit of powder sitting on your cheeks here, when you get fallout, you can just brush that away, and that brushes away like the dropped dark eyeshadows and things like that. So I like to do that. I like to add, but too much, just there to begin with. And then I'm just going to pack it on my T-zone, down my nose and my jawbone, because I am oily. A little bit there, it's looking a bit punky. Another good spot is your nostrils, funnily enough. Again, if you're trying to create those cheekbones, doing the powder from the side down is a good shout. I can really see like my downy fur, my peach fuzz. I normally take that off with if I'm going somewhere or if it's an event, I take all that peach fuzz off my face with those eyebrow razors. There you go, like that. That was a better example. Like a nice straight line, and then just sort of feather it down, but leave that sitting there because that will really give you a nice defined cheekbone if you want that look. You know, if that's the sort of look you go for. And then on my chin, because my chin gets oily. Righto, that's fine. I'm going to leave this, obviously, like I said, because, you know, we need to. And then on top of that, we're going to add our contour powder, a blush, and a bronzer powder, and a highlight powder, because this is a full glam look. So when I'm doing full glam, the sort of shades I go for are more of a coral pink on my blush. Coral red, coral pink. So if it's got like a reddy orange light, come on, there we go, tone to it, then that's really good, because I feel like that's like a more natural sort of shade to have as a blush shade. I don't know why I'm picking up blush first, because I really don't do blush first. So first is contour shade. So I've got this from MAC. It's like a, try and get it in the light, a deep skin tone. And I have a little angled fluffy brush that I like to use for this. I'm lying. Why am I saying that? Where's my, no, it's this one. For contour, it's this. This is like fat one side, thin the other. That's what I use for my contour brush, sorry. So just take it on there, tap it off, and then we do our line, like our cheekbone. Chuck it in there, and then blend it upwards. Don't blend it down. Just don't blend it down, because we're not bringing our jaw down. We're trying to bring our jaw up. Like so. And then bronzer, I like to use this beautiful, and I've literally hit pan. I feel this is Hourglass Bronze Light and Radiant Bronze Light in Ambient shade. This is amazingly beautiful, but I'm literally running out of all the bit that I really liked. So I had the pleasure of having an actual lady in the Hourglass counter when I went to get this, and she said, with this, get the one that's got the most of the light color in it, because that is really where you get the nicest shade from. The dark is great, but you want it veined mostly with the light shade and not the dark. So each one's different to the other. So then we're just putting this on the top, because this is bronzing, this is not contour. We put this above the contour, sort of over where the blush was earlier, because we're going to add more blush. But this has got a slight sort of gold shimmer in it as well, which is really nice. So if you don't wear highlight, or you don't like to wear highlight, you can literally just wear something like this. And it has enough sort of fleck in it to feel a little bit special, but it's not too extra. So it's like a layer of cake. So you have like the contour, the bronzer, the blush, the highlights. It's like 4 layers. And it, like I said, in person, this does look a bit too much, but when you have photos and the light's all on your face, it really does diminish how bright and bold the makeup is. And then we go to the blush color and we put that above again, that bronze shade. So this really is on the peak of your cheek. Peak of your cheek. Poet, and I know it. See? You can really see my dots. Well, I can. I don't know if you can. But the dots where I've had the plexer, the makeup's just like sitting in these little divots that I have in my face at the moment. Now, highlight. Oh, that's not my highlight. I use bronzer as highlight. Highlight. So I've had this for donkey's years. This is the like original Jaclyn Hill Champagne Pop highlighter. And it's just the only one I really use ever. I've got loads, but this one I've just had for donkey's years, and it's the nicest. So the tiniest little amount on your cheek, just there. Same on the other side. Literally over, basically goes over the blush, where you put the blush. If you do the blush as I do, like high on your cheekbone, that's why I then highlight. And then the tiniest little bit on the tip of your nose. And you can actually do this part with your finger. You can like dab it on your finger and draw a line straight down the middle if you like that sort of look. So you just take your finger and do that. And then you get this really nice little boop. And then whatever's left on the brush, I do my brow bones and then my top lip, so like my Cupid's bow. Try not to get it in all your lip balm. And then your brow bone. And again, this is why I do my eyebrows last, because I'm still adding to my eyes essentially as I go along, and I don't want to be putting like all makeup and things in my eyebrows. Okay, so I think that's the face done, if I'm correct in thinking. Just looking at all the bits I've got here to make sure I have used it all in the right order. Yeah, I think I have. So we're going to do the under eyes and then the eyebrows and then the lashes. So moving back to the eyeshadow palette we had earlier, the 350 Morphe palette. And we're going to take that little brush that I used to do the eyeliner in the middle brown shade. So not the eyeliner shade, the one that's next to it, basically. So this shade here. And we're going to go under the lash line to, again, about where the iris finishes, not all the way across. And this gives you a bit of nice definition on your under eye, and it makes your eye look bigger. I'm someone that has really small eyes. I always like to make my eyes a little bit bigger in my photos because I have little diddy eyes. Now you don't need loads. You really don't need lots of this. Where's my light being weird? Stop it. It's like flickering. Okay, that's cool. That will do. And then just join that. I do like a little bounce. I like put it down where it needs to be, and I sort of flick it in towards my eye and up so it joins without going weird. I don't know. That's just what I've always done, like that. Okay, and then any fallout, I did just have a bit. You can brush away because I've still got all that powder baking under my eyes, even though I have brushed a lot of it away doing the blusher and all that stuff. It was still a substantial amount of powder there. And then just go all over. Get rid of all of this malarkey. Brush it in. Make sure any of the bit that you was baking is just not sitting on your skin anymore. And that's enough of that. Mascara time. I always use this. This is like the best mascara in the world. I've never really taken to any others just because I've got small eyes and this is a small little diddy wand. I don't know, like far away from the camera I need to be for you to see that, but it's so good. And it doesn't clump, it doesn't flake off and go in my eyes because I've got really sensitive eyes. yeah, I just get no bits during the day, like flaking into my eyes or anything like that. So I just do a couple of sweeps of my lashes. Sometimes I curl them, sometimes I don't. But basically, I'm wearing false lashes with this look anyway, so I don't tend to do too much for the lashes, to be honest. And then I just sort of a little bit on the lower lashes, just to give them a little bit of a coating. Like so. Then eyebrows. So I use this NYX pencil, and it's the one that's got the little flat bit on here, and one end's got the little spoolie brush, and then the other end is a wind up. And it's like skinny one way and fat the other. So it's really good for drawing like single little hairs on, if that's your sort of style that you like to do. So brush your eyebrows. I really want to get mine laminated for my holiday, because they're kind of weird, my lashes. They're like an ash, like grey shade, because I was naturally blonde as a kid, but now my hair is like so dark, really dark. It looks almost black, but it's not. It's just like a really deep shade of ash, probably like a level 7, level 6 ash or something like that. Yeah, but they're not like bushy at all. They're really boring brows. So yeah, just do your brows how you like to do your brows. I'm a bit blasé with mine. I just sort of draw them how I would think they would look okay. This side I have a mole, so I tend to like go over that mole on this side, and it sort of just hides it, and then try and match this brow to it. My brows, I did later actually have them microbladed, so I always have like an outline that I can copy, because they're faded now. I had them done years ago, and yeah, I just sort of copy that shadow that's beneath the makeup, and then I go to that mole and just sort of cover it up with little tiny strokes to a little point, like that. And then I take the little spoolie and brush it away. If it's anywhere that's like too thick, just give it a little brush, like so. And then I do the other brow, try and match it up. Can you hear Ollie the owl? That's the boy. The girl says twit, twit, like that, and the boy says twoo, twit, twoo. That's where you get your owl sound from. The girl says twit, the boy says twoo. Is that an owl? That sounds like a fox in pain. I'm not sure that is the owl after all, but that is what they do. They do say twit and twoo. I think that's a fox actually. Going woo. Yeah, that's the fox. I can hear it now. It's calling out. Sounds like it's in pain, but it's actually probably just having boom boom. I'll be feeding it soon. We have really good CCTV here, and we have like areas that are like motion detection and all that stuff, and we always see the foxes on them. They're really sweet, lovely little things. So much wildlife here, it's unreal. Like we have deer, badgers. We've even got, it's not a mink, I think it's a stoat, like a small, it's bigger than a ferret, smaller than a mink. We've got like one, and we hardly ever see it, but it's up the drive. It's beautiful, really dark, so dark, and it runs really fast. That's why we're not really sure what it is, because we only really see it at a quick glance. So brow gel next. How long has this been going on for? What's time? 7 o'clock. So this is an hour. So that's not too bad considering I've been chatting and I didn't get started exactly at 6. So yeah, not too bad at all. Only really got to do this brow gel and sticking the lashes on. So yeah, if you have been following along at all, hopefully you've been able to keep up and haven't got like left behind with anything, because sort of the chatty bit I think should help you. Because that's the worst thing when you have like a follow-on makeup tutorial. I've followed a few people and they're so fast and they don't tell you what they're going to be using. So you're like trying to find what they're using and they've moved on to the next bit and you've missed what they did. And I was just like, oh, that is so annoying. So yeah, I sort of really tried to slow it down as much as I can and just sort of doing it at a leisurely pace, having a bit of a chat. So I just sort of I sort of put the gel on my brow and then I brush it, because no matter how much gel I use, my brows never do what I want the gel to do anyway. So it is what it is. How that's looking? It looks okay, but I feel like one of my brows is a bit higher. I don't know which side I'm on. What have we got? Okay, the mirror is like, it's mirrored. No, it's mirrored. It's unmirrored. It's like back to front. So when I'm looking in my mirror, this brow is a little bit skinnier than this brow. The brow with the mole is thicker. So I may try and thicken it up. But I'm just probably going to ruin my whole face by doing this, but we'll give it a go. I feel like it just sort of there needs to be a little bit chunkier. Just a little bit. I don't want to do all these little weird voices, but I do. I like little funny voices. Not the voices in my head. Right, that's brows done. So lashes. If you're going full glam and you're on stage and you want your lashes to be seen by everyone up in the stalls and things like that, wear your massive lashes, but make sure they fit your eyes. Don't wear lashes that are too far across your eye, because every time you blink, you're going to stab yourself in that waterline, and that's really the worst thing. So I've got these. I have worn these already, so they are already cut to my eye shape, and these are the ones I had on in the photo that is posted with the notification of this stream. So they're pretty good. W7 lashes. They're quite glamorous. I hold them with my tweezers. I have this glue, and it's the duo glue with the stick, not the brush. It's got like the paddle. See what I mean? It's quite stiff. And you run it along the top. Make sure you can see, my throat's going funny. Make sure you can see that there is glue across the whole lash band. And then I set my timer. So, hey Siri, would help if my phone was actually on. Hey Siri, set a timer for 40 seconds.
40 seconds, starting now.
And then these will be ready to stick on when that timer goes. So hopefully you guys are just sort of getting your lashes together now while we wait for the 40 seconds. And I'll move back so you can see the full look. See what I mean? There's like a lot of makeup and it's very pigmented, but in photos, I promise you, you'll get like maybe 70% of this, if that, in photos with all the flash and all that stuff. So I'll see if I can move this little light closer to me without knocking things over. So you may be able to get an idea of, see, it sort of does that. Blends away your makeup. That's so noisy. Stop it. Right, lashes. Just sort of sit there and wait for it to attach. And you can do like a hard blink if you think they're in the right place, but mine won't. They do need to be a little bit more there. It wasn't quite attached. No, that's not working for me. But sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't. Probably just need a little bit more glue on that bit on the inner corner. And then just with your fingernail, just check it, make sure it's actually touching your lash line. They're not, slightly off. I forgot, I normally take the lashes and bend them a little bit before I actually attach them, just to make them a bit more pliable, like warm them up so they're easier to sort of bend and attach to my lid. Like that. That's okay, because I'm not going anywhere. After this, I'm literally taking all of this off because I've got to go out and do some errands. And I'm not doing it with a full face of makeup because I'm just not. I'm not that person. So once this is finished, I'm taking all of my makeup back off. So I'm doing this purely for you guys. So don't say I never give you nothing. Okay. Yeah, so basically I do this before I put the lash on, just to give it like a bit of warmth. Squeeze it with my fingers a little bit. And then it's got a nice sort of bend where it will stick to your your eyelid. I'm going to make sure I've got enough glue here in the corner because that's like the worst bit and the hardest bit to attach, isn't it? Especially with me, because my little diddy eyeballs. Some people have got like big eyes and a really nice curve, but mine are just not like that at all. Like, hey Siri, set a timer for 40 seconds.
40 seconds.
Thank you.
Starting now. You're welcome.
Does anyone use AI? I love AI. It's brilliant, ChatGPT. I'm going to see if I can read some of these comments now. I know there's a troll at the top. I think message retracted. Old Jade. Don't know what happened there. I didn't even read them because can't be asked. So I've got Swampy. Hi Swampy. Isabel Torres. Hi Isabel. How are you? I hope you're okay. Nice to see you, dear. Beautiful Christina. Kenneth Smith says hi. Amazing tutorial. You look super. Thank you, darling. Yep, lovely. So I need my glasses. I cannot read without them. Blind as a bat. There we go. I thought it was about time. Lovely. So yeah, lashes on. Sort of line it up about there. That one's gone on nicer than this one. I might actually just take this one off because it's like it's looking a bit straight and not really attached at all. Whereas this one's gone on really nice, so much that I don't feel like I need to touch it at all. It's like it's in a nice position. You always say like, oh, I don't feel like I need to touch it, and then you touch it anyway. What is that? No, that's perfect. That's gone on really nice. So I'm just going to wiggle this one because it looks like it didn't have enough curve on it to actually attach to the inner corner of my eye. Didn't have enough bend and pliability to it. Should peel a bit of that glue off as well because there's a bit too much in that corner bit. Right. Redo. Hey Siri. Set a timer for 40 seconds.
40 seconds. Starting now.
And then once these are on, I will take my eyeshadow, the little flat brush that I did the eyeliner with, and just go over the lash band with a bit of dark eyeshadow because you have this sort of shiny lash band that looks kind of funky in real life. It's fine in photos. I'm sure you don't ever see it, but obviously if you are walking around, you don't want this shiny, glossy line on your lid. So you just sort of dull it down and it blends better in with your lashes, with your eyeshadow, etc., etc. We're getting there with this, I think. That went on really nice. Perfect. It's like a full glam look. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm just going to leave that, not touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't do it. That's what we say to our dog. Don't touch it. Just going to brush this out a little, something. This is a 3/4 wig that I've got on at the minute. It's really good. And then I just use the Dyson Airwrap with the actual like curly bit to do this sort of blowout look. And I use the round brush on the fringe to give the sort of the bangs, the sweepy bang bit. Actually, I did that like hours ago, that sweepy bang bit first without the wig. So that's dropped quite a bit now. But basically, it looked like that earlier. It was quite nice. Like a little swoop going on. So these are quite nicely set now, these lashes. So I'm just going to smush them. Ah! I've done it again. It's not even attached in the corner. There we go. Right. So final things. This lips. So in the deepest, darkest shade, the colour you use as your eyeshadow or your eyeliner, like the coal brown. Not too much. You don't want any fallout because your makeup is essentially done here. So tap it off and you just put it over that blue line. See what I'm doing? It's just there, sort of to join the lashes to your makeup line, like that. That's like stuck to my lash, lower lash. I swear that's still not attached. It might be, don't it? It doesn't look right. Doesn't matter. I'm not going anywhere. Lips. Right, so most people have their own process for what they have on their lip colour, but lately what I found, especially for winter, because my lips get really dry, is I just use lip balm. And this is that nice like pink shimmery one from Nivea, I think. Yeah, Nivea. Smells nice, tastes lovely. I put that on and then I take like a rose brown. Is this it? Is that one? Yeah, absolutely it. This is actually quite a dark maroon shade, but you can do whatever colour you want. And then I just sort of add some colour to the lip balm. And it's sort of like a Your Lip But Better shade. And you can do this like really full, or you can feather it. So I'm going to feather it first and show you what that looks like. So I just do like the outline and then I bring it in ever so slightly. It tickles. And then in like little circular motions. Because then you don't get any harsh lines. So with this, I sort of bring it to the area where when you purse your lips, you can capture that colour and draw it into the middle of your mouth. So like that. There's a little bit there that's didn't get caught, so it's a little bit defined where the rest is all blended. Like that. And that's like Your Lip But Better, but it's got like a bit of a gradient. Or you can do like a full lip. So I actually quite like that. It's quite cute. So the full lip, just go across like that, mostly on your bottom lip, like that. And then you've got a nice sort of Your Lip But Better lip that's moisturizing. It's not going to dry out and be all horrible and crispy on your face. So there we go. That's the final look. So I think that's everything. If you're going out, I will give you my top tips actually now for how to get your makeup to stay forever. The best way I know how is, I didn't do this today, because it is quite drying, and obviously I'm not actually going anywhere, so I don't need it. But if you get milk of magnesia, it used to be better with the older version, but the EU apparently actually banned like the topical ingredient that was in milk of magnesia, but you can still use it. So you get milk of magnesia, which is like a blue bottle with a white label and a little like round lid. Get it on cotton wool and put that on your face before all of your makeup. And that dries out and it removes any sort of excess oil. And then when you do your foundation, you can take a single ply of tissue or a little piece of toilet paper and blot any of the excess oil that's left on your face after applying your foundation. So again, that helps your face stay sort of matte and dry. And then obviously at the end, setting powder. So the Urban Decay is the best one, the all-nighter. And you don't need loads. You especially don't need loads because you don't want to actually then move what's on your face and have it run down your face. So 3 squirts, like one side, forehead, like cheek, forehead is generally how to do it. So like that. That's all you need. And we're done. So hopefully you've enjoyed this follow along with me makeup masterclass. It's 7:20. So this has been an hour and 20 minutes from the start, but I don't think I got started till probably about 5 minutes in, maybe like 3, 4, 5 minutes into the video. And yeah, so it's like an hour and 15 minutes with a chat along. So if you allow yourself an hour to do this look, if you're going somewhere, if you've got an event coming up or anything like that, photo, yeah, that's it. Great. An hour. You should be fine. You should be able to do this in an hour. If you can't do it in an hour, practice. Do it a few times before the set date and things like that, and give it a go. This look is also good for bridal makeup. Just use that shade that I use, the middle brown. Don't use that. Use the paler transition shade, like the lightest brown, as your shadow color. Unless you like a full glam bridal look, you really can just get away with this because you're not using like a cat eye with liquid eyeliner. It's soft enough for a bridal look. You see what I mean on the eyes? Yeah. So, and then this will, again, will just stay all day. It's great for photos. It's got a nice amount of highlighter. It's not too over the top. We haven't got any of that sort of grayness going on where some people have just too much contour on their cheeks and things like that. So hopefully you have enjoyed this video. I know I have been very absent on YouTube. I was very depressed after Tank passed away in September. Can't talk too much about it because it still just like makes me want to cry my eyes out. But I will be back. At the moment, I'm actually moving on to something new and more exciting in my life. I'm a photographer now. And I say now, I've always been a photographer, but now I actually have a studio. And I'll be taking bookings and things for studio photography and doing weddings and maternity shoots. So that's what I'm really looking forward to doing. I obviously like to sew, and I'm making these beautiful, magnificent, over-the-top, ruffled maternity dresses and gowns and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. I bought all the fabrics yesterday from John Lewis, so I can do some videos for that. But I really struggle with the sitting down and editing part of doing YouTube. Where I was depressed, I'd lost the love for doing it, to be honest. And yeah, the idea of just like getting these videos and sitting on the computer and trying to edit them, and it's more or less, it's actually the uploading part, because our internet here is so diabolical. I don't know how it's coming across to you guys, whether you're getting like buffering or not like that, but yeah, it takes hours. I have to upload overnight to do any videos because our internet's just, we're in the middle of nowhere in the countryside and we're just still on regular non-fiber broadband. So yeah, it's hard work. It's kind of soul destroying a little bit as well, trying to upload a video and sometimes it crashes and you have to restart from the beginning. So that's why I've always like had a little bit of an issue with it. But yeah, hopefully I will continue to do some bits on this channel, because I don't want to just say hi and bye to you guys, because I know I've got quite a nice following on here. I think it's like 4,600 subscribers now, which is quite, it's a nice amount. It's lovely. And yeah, I don't want to just take it for granted and say, oh, hi and bye, thanks for your time, ciao. Yeah, but basically I'm not really doing the lifestyle stuff anymore, just because it's not really where my heart is, I would say. Like, I did it when I needed to do it, when I needed like a break from the stressful side of life and anything that was too serious, like after COVID, obviously. But now, yeah, I'm looking forward to this new venture, and yeah. And yeah, I hate ending sentences with and yeah. So yeah. So yeah. But yeah, that's it. So photography, I know quite a lot about it. I will do some like behind the scenes probably and things like that and post them on shorts and do some tips and tricks maybe for that. But to begin with, in my studio, I will be offering people makeovers with their photo shoots, because at the beginning I will just have the time for that. And I do like doing that. And I am qualified in hair and bridal makeup as well. I'm qualified in makeup, bridal hairstyling, like curls and updos and things like that. So I can always offer that for my clients with photography. So yes, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you soon, perhaps, for another one. Take care of yourselves. Bye. I have no idea where to hit the button to end the live. There we go. There it is. Down there. Take care. Bye.